Good morning. I'm Vijay Madhvi. Let me start with our new concept that is called as line configuration. Where we'll use this line configuration? This is one of the technique which is used for bandwidth utilization. That means whenever we have a data transmission between the client and server, okay, then we have this line configuration. Then here, what is meant by this bandwidth utilization? This bandwidth utilization is a wise use of available bandwidth to achieve the goals. Okay, here now we'll see what is meant by this line configuration. Line configuration means what? Here, for example, if we have a data transmission between the sender and receiver, okay, here I can say here I have one sender, then we have this receiver. Whenever if we have this data transmission between this sender and receiver, or I can say client and server, a network is a two or more devices connected through a link. Here I have two devices, it may connect, or it may connect with the three devices, or it may connect with multi devices. Okay. Here we may have different devices can be connected. Okay. Here we have different devices can be connected. Okay. Like this also we have a communication. Okay. We have different communication with it. That means what is mean by this one here? Like whenever, what is mean by LAN configuration? Here a network is two or more devices which are connected through a link. Okay, a link means what? It is a communication path that transfers the data from one device to another device. Here we have a transmission of data from one device to another. The devices can be a computer, printer, or any other device that is capable to send and receive the data. Okay. For visualization purposes, imagine any link is a line which is drawn between the 2 points. Okay. Here, what is meant by this line configuration is what? Whenever if we have the data transmission, or simply I can say a network is two or more devices are connected through a link, and a link is a communication path that is used for the transmission of data between the number of devices. Okay. And here, what is a line configuration? Mainly I can say, like here we have a link is a communication pathway that transmits the data from one device to another device. Now here, like whenever if we have this line configuration, that means the transmission between the point-to-point connection will be there, or we may also have multi-point connections also can be there. There are the two possible types of connections, that is a point-to-point connection, another one is the multi-point connection. Okay. And what is meant by this point-to-point connection? That means there we have a dedicated link between the two workstations. Here I can show. Uses a dedicated link to connect two devices. Simple and easy to set up. Okay. Here we have a dedicated link between the two devices. Then it is always simple to set up. Okay. And it is limited to only two devices. Okay. And it does not require any NIC card. That means network interface card or hub or any switch. It does not require all those things. And it can become complex and difficult to manage as a network grows, as the network is improving. Yeah. Here, as the network is improving, here it is possible, it is not at all possible to work with only point-to-point data communication. And what is meant by this multi-point connection? Here is also called as multi-drop configuration. In this, here we can connect with two or more devices with a single link. Okay. Here, if I have a point-to-point, I can connect to two devices only with one link. But whenever if I have this multi-point connection, I can connect with multiple devices. Okay. If more than two devices share the link, then the channel is considered as a shared channel. Okay. And with shared capacity, there can be two possibilities in a multi-point line configuration. Here in this, the two possibilities are, one is a spatial sharing, another one is the temporal time sharing. What is meant by this spatial sharing? If several devices can share the link simultaneously, then we can call it as a spatial sharing. If users must take turns using sync, then it is called as temporal sharing. Okay. And it is also called as a time shared line configuration. Okay. And here in the multi-point connection, we have a multiple systems are connected together. And whenever why we are using this configuration, line configuration, especially for the transmission of data between the devices. How the data transmission can be done? That means with the transmission medium. Okay. And we'll continue with the next session, as well as here, when we are working with the transmission media, we have a guided transmission media as well as unguided transmission media. Everything will be there. Okay. And now here, like, what is the main purpose of working with this line configuration is for the transmission of data between the devices with one link. Okay. Here, if we have this point-to-point connection will be there. These are all comes under the point-to-point connection, and this comes under the multi-point connection. Okay. And we'll continue with the next session with the next concept. Thank you.